Spiral, 2 Jews, 2 mics, 2 hours, starting now.
How you doing, man?
Good. How are you?
Very good. Very good.
Good.
Very good. And one more very good, it won't be good.
No, you broke it.
Yeah, but now at least I'm like not trying to project the sound into a part of the room. I've given up on that.
That's good.
Now I'm saying
it was folly.
It was folly. It wasn't Seward's folly.
No.
As you know, Seward's folly involved a hooker, a chicken, 4 Twister games, Grease 2.
It looked like you looked at your wall and Grease 2 came to you. Is there a poster there?
And Lincoln. Yeah. Isn't he Lincoln? Isn't he something to do with Lincoln?
Well, you just made your own little Ziegfeld folly. So.
Hey, Josh, I have one thing to say to you. Pay the $2. You know that one? Is that from the Ziegfeld Follies?
Could be.
Oh, I think it's that famous movie, the Ziegfeld Follies.
It probably is.
And the running bit is, I'm not going to pay the $2. That was wrong for them. They're Jersey. His name isn't Jersey. Pay the $2. And then finally he pays the $2 when it's too late.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah. Good story. The best story.
What are you doing? Why?
I'm trying to see. I want to make a good background for you.
Okay.
I want to make it nice for you.
More of you. A portrait of you is the background of you there.
I know, but so I was trying to mix it up. So, as long as you can see me, that's all I care about.
Yeah, it looks like you're looking down at me in a manhole, but yeah.
Am I above you now? Oh, because I should be like this, you're saying, right?
Oh, that's nice.
How long can I do that for?
I don't know.
Hey, how you doing, man? You like my background?
Triceps quivering.
How much longer? How are you timing me?
All right, buckle down. I have to edit this today too, so.
Okay, I know you do.
Please.
Now look, here's the thing.
No misspeaking, no pauses.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, no speaking, no pauses, no problem. Did you see that Broadway show?
Uh-huh.
That I produced, no speaking, no pauses, no problem.
Yes,
I would like to start today, if I may.
Please do, anytime.
Okay. By saying, this is what you have to look forward to when you get older. Now, maybe it won't happen to you. Maybe it will happen to you, but it's not a question anymore. Should I pee before I do the podcast?
Yeah.
I can't control it. I will be peeing.
You can't control it?
Not once the bladder is full. So in other words, today, while you were with your beauty sleep, putting your eggs in your eyes with what do they put in their eyes? Steak?
Cucumbers sometimes?
Steak. Okay,
Steaks,
right.
Yeah. If it's a black eye, you put steaks on your eyes.
Did you say a black guy? No, you didn't say a black guy.
I did not say a black guy, no.
So
you are a black guy on this industry.
I am a black guy. And the black guy's going, that would be Rickles. And the black guy's going, oh, man, River. Okay, Don. Okay, Don. Okay, and here's Letterman. Send your letters to Don Rickles. What's the matter, Dave? Oh, man. And then the gay choreographer's going, hello. Well, actually, I don't think he did the gay choreographer. I think just Robin Williams.
No, he did. He absolutely did the bent wrist gay character.
Anybody who was alive at that time had to have that, right?
Yes.
Any male, I mean.
Yes.
Any misogynist male. So I've already been up for a whole hour.
Wow.
No. I got
more because you took the car back. I already know the lead to this story.
Yeah, so I got up at 8 a.m. today. I got to sleep around 3 a.m. and I couldn't sleep. This is a great story.
You were wired from your week of relaxation?
Yeah, I was wired from my week of relaxation. And the drive. And then we got there. It's unbelievable. 2 hours down. 2 hours down. We didn't get 2 hours back because there was a little bit of a traffic thing. I've never gone to San Diego in 2 hours flat since the old days.
Yeah.
Maybe in the 80s or the 70s.
It's weird because even if you do, you still don't get a story out of it.
I thought that was a pretty good story. I think you're wrong there. That's where you're wrong. So I had to get up. And then, so I've already been up for an hour. So when I came back, I got the mail. I came back. The mail is why I was, I think, 2 minutes. I come in and I go, I'm going to pee. I'm going to pee.
Wow.
So the question is, where am I going to pee? And I made it to the bathroom. This time.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's something that I don't think it's a great story. I don't think it's a good story.
I don't really want to hear your bathroom humor.
You can always rely on that old saw.
Stop calling me that.
Would you? Couldn't you go a different direction? Why always there? Why always to my flaccid penis?
You're the one who took us to Penisville.
Yeah, but you could have made a left over to genital land. So the other thing I wanted to tell you is that Alan Covert, you were right. Alan Covert is a producer on that new movie Hustle. You're right.
Yeah.
You could tell that he's a producer on it.
Sure.
I watched 15 minutes of that this morning.
Yeah.
I will not be. I
watched it last night.
Oh, okay. What do you say?
I thought it was okay. I mean, I didn't think it was great, but I like basketball, so that helps.
I even told him the story about Clyde Drexler. He would always throw up before a game, and then Queen Latifah goes, "No, that was me who threw up before." Come on.
That was more than 15 minutes in, though. Busted. But
here's what I want to tell you something. Like I used to have my head up my ass, and I would be like, getting mad at the wrong people.
Yeah.
Like, for example, I got mad at one of your friends. What was the purpose of it? No purpose at all. How can I not remember Seth Rogen?
Why Seth Rogen? Oh,
huh?
Well, when you were lashing out at Seth Rogen, you mean?
Yeah, one time. I mean, I was just doing this. It was me and Eddie Pepitone. Anytime something happens in the business, you can count on bitter people like Eddie Pepitone or me to do a tweet. This movie's coming out? Oh, what? Is that with Rogen? Something like that.
And then he wrote to me and says, "Why does Andy hate me?" Which
is what makes him a mensch. Actually, his mother's a mensch. Mother threatened to come after me, but that was a joke. But I am totally comfortable with my dislike of Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
I'm totally comfortable with the fact that he tried to bully me and he would have beaten me up if he could have, or if it had occurred to him. And he makes terrible movies. He is a funny guy who was funny on Saturday Night Live for a brief period of time, but he is now just going to continue to make these garbage movies, is what I think. If he makes a great movie, I'll be the first one in the theater. Not really. I'll be the 10th one. I went to see Knocked Out Loaded, and that just wasn't a great movie, but he was okay. I mean, he's a good actor.
I don't know what you're talking about with Knocked Out Loaded. What is that?
No, it's a PT. What's P.T. Anderson? What is the movie he did with him? Not Knocked Up, not Loaded.
No.
If something was up, something up maybe? You know what I'm talking about.
I do, but now you've jumbled my brain with all your fake titles.
So anyway, I think that's real growth for me to actually be comfortable with. I don't like this guy. I'm not going to spend the rest of the day going after him on Twitter, but I'm totally comfortable with it. And Alan Covert might be the worst guy I've ever met in my life. He's just a terrible man.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I don't think this is a traditional terrible Adam Sandler movie. I think it's not a great movie, but it's a solid movie.
Okay.
I don't understand.
The producing was good?
Well, Alan Covert's along for the ride. That's solid. That's 100%. That's 100% cemented that he's brought Alan Covert along for the ride.
That's all I need to hear. But go ahead.
What I don't understand is why you'd start even watching the movie with this overwhelming hatred for this person and no hope of you watching it, of liking it.
I've watched every single Adam Sandler movie on the hope that, not understanding a simple thing, which was I probably overestimated his talent when I first saw him, or overestimated at least the mind behind his talent or the point of view behind his talent.
Yeah.
So I've always been, and I loved Harrison Ford is 1/4 Jewish, not too shabby. He's made me laugh.
Yeah.
I used to love the guy who would go to Halloween. I'm one-handed man. Now give me some of that crazy candy. So, but I'm always fascinated to see what he comes out with. And I'm not saying I'll finish it.
Yeah. No, you shouldn't.
No. Well, you're saying it's not bad.
Well, no, for you it's bad.
Does the fact that you like basketball make it better for? Oh, I guess there is basketball in it.
So. Yeah, there's a lot of basketball in it. It's entirely centered around basketball.
Right, but I mean, it's not based on. I know Sandler can play, but it's not based on Sandler. Is there a scene where he scores 30 points?
No, he's playing a coach.
Yeah, but he used to be
and scout.
No, but he used to be a player, wasn't he? Or no?
Yes, this character played in college. Yes.
And I thought he was never a pro player.
No.
Okay, true story.
No.
Okay, all right, I'm done with that. Now, do you want to know how my week was in San Diego? I don't have a good story, but I think we've proven I don't have good stories about this. But I did have a wonderful time down there.
I'm so glad.
Beautiful down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the hotel is just unbelievable. Just beautiful. You've seen it. It's still as charming, and the town is still as incredible as it was. Like, I would go back there again for another honeymoon, or thing, because I just love it over there. It's really cool.
Good. Did you renew your vows?
I don't know. That to me seems hacky.
Yeah.
Did you do that? I'm sorry if you did that.
No, of course not.
Well, if Allison wanted you to do it,
I think we hedged
right?
on him the first time. Why would we?
But you do it. If Allison said, "Come on," well, she would never say that. It's not.
She
you're
would
not the
never
kind of
say
couple.
that. And if she did
Right.
say it, I would make fun of it. And if I saw that it was real, I'd then go through with it.
Well, we would have. I mean, we'd have maybe a 20-year party if there was no pandemic. Maybe we would have.
I don't think you would.
Party.
I do not think you would.
Because of the type of hermit I am.
Because you're not party
But
throwing.
Susan's not a hermit. I'm a hermit.
Well, you're not party throwing people.
She would be if I was less of a hermit, and one day we will be. Well, you've been to one of our parties.
The one with you guys and us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Made a great spread. I think we ordered in a great spread.
I'm not saying you're incapable of throwing a hell of a soiree.
Well, I think that's the message behind everything you say.
I'm saying you're not prone to.
That's the second read for everything you say to me. Is that what they call that in movies? That's a second read?
I don't think so. No.
Oh. But it's somewhat like a expression.
How would you know you never got to one?
It was the topic down there, in case you want to know what the topic was. Everyone's talking about, is it June gloom or was it June gloom? And I've decided that I love June gloom because for some reason I've decided in the time I was down there, I hate the sun more than anything in the world.
Yeah.
I don't, that's again, you have to subtract.
Hell
my
of a thing to
exaggeration.
realize on a beach vacation.
No, it's not. But when the direct sun is beating on me, I still go, let's go in the shade.
Okay. I think that's a human response in many ways.
Right. Yes. And now I feel like when I got back here today, I felt like today it's starting to ramp up. I heard them say triple digits on the weather news.
Yeah, although it doesn't look like that's going to actually happen here. Yeah.
Oh, but Chris Jansen.
I come from a melanoma family, so I'm with you on the direct sunlight thing.
Oh, yes. Did anybody in your family history ever head to the beach? Well, you all did, maybe.
Yeah, sure. Had a boat as a kid.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
I didn't know you were rich.
Had a sailboat, little sailboat.
I didn't know you were wealthy.
Very wealthy. Very, very wealthy.
You have to have a boat. All boats are yachts. Or a form of a yacht.
This was a 22-foot sailboat.
Can you sail?
I can. I mean, I need to bone up since it's been 32 years or so.
And you also need to have. Can you sail alone? No, that's a sailfish. There's little.
No,
they
you
used
could
to have
sail
at
this.
camp.
You could sail that boat alone. It was a little. It was a little hard to do, but
right. And did you ever? I'm going to just do some lingo with you and see how good you are. You ready? Okay. We come on the sloop John B. Anything? My grandfather and me. Round Nassau town. We did. It's not Nassau town, right?
I don't remember.
Okay. This song I don't ever want to hear again. I've been to Schmicky Dicky Daka Daka Schmo Schenectady and Speaky. This is one of my favorite songs. I've been to Cleveland, Cincinnati, Colorado. I've been everywhere. They've ruined it, and just Johnny Cash singing it.
Yeah.
So thank you again. I'm the only person watching commercials.
Well, they're actually using the Johnny Cash version.
I know, that's what makes it terrible, because I love that song.
Yeah.
I don't like to go, shut up, to one of my favorite singers.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand.
It gets to you.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, I don't know if you have anything.
Those commercials will get you.
I'm just telling you, I don't know if you have anything prepared for this. What I'm trying to tell you, and I've been trying to tell you from day one, I like TV.
Yeah.
I like movies. I like entertainment. I don't like the commercials.
Ow, it's not TV. Not TV. It's those commercials that get me. It's not TV. Not TV. It's those commercials that get me.
Bow. He doesn't like commercials. Bow, bow. Doesn't like them. He likes the TV. Bow, bow. But he doesn't like the commercials. Bow, bow. Ooh, God.
Wow.
Almost lost my...
You committed your earphones right off your head.
That would be funny if I could do physical humor.
There was a comic named Bob Larson back in Minneapolis, back in the day, the day being 1989. And he would close his act with a parody of that song, which was I Eat Everywhere. And he would go through a list of 1 million restaurant names.
Denny's, Coco's.
Yes. Denny's, Coco's, Domino's, Burger King,
I eat everywhere.
and you know what? It worked.
It killed.
It worked real well.
Yeah. This is the thing that people don't realize unless you've done stand-up comedy, is you can make a bit. You don't have to have any talent at all. Real, I mean, I guess you could have to have some selling ability. But
Yeah.
you can absolutely create a bit that's going to kill.
Yeah.
And it absolutely is completely it could be completely meaningless in your life.
Yes.
If you're hoping that that's your ticket.
Ironically, the song about food had absolutely no nutrition to it. But
But he would say, no. You don't get it, Josh. I go, I eat avocado. I couldn't even do it myself.
a list of 2 stumped him. 2 foods.
How would he get
couldn't
the
get
laugh?
to 2 foods.
He got the laugh by saying a lot of food.
By saying a lot of things and not fucking up. Yeah, that is a recipe for a big bit, by the way. If you can pack a lot of words and execute them all, people will applaud.
And that's why up in Canada they had that where the guy would do Cinderella backwards. I don't even understand the point of it. I've never heard it because I wouldn't have been in the room when it was done. I would have walked out of the room if I heard someone reciting Cinderella backwards.
Sure.
I'm not staying
How do I
to see.
follow this? You'd say. How can I follow?
Well, I was
backwards?
reading the other day about how Wendy at the Comedy Works in Denver she's so terrible to me. But not terrible to me like the Nazis were to the Jews.
Right.
Not that bad.
Hitler wouldn't book me. Hitler wouldn't book me.
But she kept saying, I'll headline you. First she went, I'll headline you, but it has based on credits or something like that. And I go, I just did the Young Comedian special. Okay. I was lying about that. It's
You're
when you
terrible.
do well. What's that?
I was lying about that. You're terrible.
Okay, that was a made-up story. You're not good as a stand-up. She goes, if you can headline the room, which they booked a room that Hicks used to play a lot in Palm Beach, maybe?
I don't
There was a club that Hicks used to play all the time where Colleen used to live down there, too.
Yeah.
It's not Palm. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
It's a famous club, too, down there, Palm Beach, Florida, that Hicks used to play. But I never played there.
Going
But
coconuts.
I did play there.
Coconuts.
No, it's like, I think it was it could have been the Comedy Works. It could have been the Comedy Works named after, I don't know, no. It was the Comedy Corner, something like that. And I think it was Tampa.
Okay.
No, maybe it wasn't Tampa. So she goes, if you can
In
follow
my
it,
experience, there's nothing good in Tampa. So
yeah, Tampa's terrible. No, well, I don't think it was Tampa because I played Side Splitters there. It was the worst gig I've ever had. That was the gig I told you where as I was leaving, the guy didn't pay me right. And as I'm leaving, he's going, chugga, 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 chugga. He's chugging down a big thing of rum or something. Chugga, 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 chugga. So,
so you got screwed at Side Splitters. Did you ever get paid?
I did get paid, so I don't consider it being screwed. I thought I was supposed to get $1,500 or whatever, or $1300. He said, no, I'll tell you why it's not that. Bing, bang, bing, bang, boom. So I don't know. I could have been wrong.
Gotcha.
But I don't know if I trust his take because he was like, chugga, 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 chugga.
If you don't like it, you can go to Gutbusters or Milk Through Your Noses.
Well, he did other people's material by as if he was allowed to do that because he's a club owner. Type of thing. So Wendy said, if you could do well with
It's a street joke.
Really? What? You're telling me that Mark, what's that guy's name?
Mark V. McCullum?
No, Mark, the Jewish fella.
That still doesn't narrow it down that much.
Mark, Jewish fellow, he never worked on Fridays because of the Sabbath.
Mark Schiff?
Well, yes. Who used to have this joke. One of my favorite jokes used to go, when a woman would say to you, the last thing I want to do is hurt you, it means it's on the list. I love that joke. So she said, if I could follow this guy in Colorado, not Colorado, in Tampa or wherever the hell it was, I could then headline the Comedy Works. So she put me in the middle act was a guy who said, if you've drank 4 quarts of rum, you've had 2. It was literally like a Foxworth debate. And the whole crowd would go, you've had 2 drink. If you wake up and you vomit on somebody who's vomiting on you, you've had too much. And all I'm telling you is I had trouble following him. And then she never headlined me at the Comedy Works. Right. That's the end of the story.
But he seems like the guy who solely existed to be there to test headliners.
Right. If you really believe, and I'm not saying you believe this, but if you really believe that a test is you put up the worst thing before and you almost dare the comic after them.
Yes.
But back in those days, it was like, I don't care. You got to take control. The only kind of comedy that really worked ultimately in clubs, was the people who took control of the room.
Yes. Yes. Road comedy requires a great deal of leadership.
Right.
It really does.
And it's not.
And it's leadership that at this point, I don't have in me or have any urge to provide. You know? Right. No. And I don't even know. But I felt it when I was at Acme, even just because I had the opposite thing. I had a very low key, dark middle act. And so that forced me to almost put on artificial energy at the top of my set just to establish my leadership, you know.
There's no question that it's a difficult thing, 2 people on a show or 3 people on a show, especially if it is like was it dark? It wasn't like dirty. It was just dark, right?
It was both.
Oh, okay. So yeah,
a couple of C words in there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it can be. I'm not saying I'm not saying I'm a bad headliner. I'm just saying if the weather changes, you know what I'm saying? If there's a drizzle outside, it's going to affect my show.
I think you're a great headliner for people who came to see Andy Kindler.
Right. And that's, a few and far.
I understand. That's a hard group to gather. But there is an Andy Kindler fandom out there.
Yeah. I think so, right?
Yeah. I mean, you've fucking done a cameo for each one of them now.
I don't think there's anybody who's listened to my comedy who hasn't been touched by me in either a cameo way or seen my stand-up.
Priest way. Oh.
Priest way. Oh, Josh. We were going so well without the
Was it going that well, Andy?
I thought it was.
Did you go out for any good meals in San Diego? How about that? There's a travel log prompter.
We had a couple of Mexican. I did have a great meal, and I will recommend this to anybody.
You don't have
in
to,
any town.
Okay.
It's called Lobster West. I think it's called Lobster West, and it's like a place that serves lobster sandwiches along the lines of the Boston, New England.
Lobster roll, it's called.
Right, lobster rolls. But the difference is, it is like a lobster roll, but it's like having lobster quality, thick lobster that you'd have with drawn butter.
Yeah. And
it even has a little butter, so it's less mayonnaise-y, and then you get to order it with how much you want on it. So I ordered the $21 lobster sandwich.
Yeah.
So it was so great. I have never had something where okay, I know it's not local. They're getting it from back east, but man, is it fucking great.
It doesn't really matter because they show up live. So.
Oh, I never thought of that. That's the only way to do it, right? Is to have the lobsters come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or frozen, I guess, but.
Well, yeah. Because I don't think you get the ones from
I don't think they serve you
Alaska.
I don't think they serve you a $21 frozen lobster roll, though. Hopefully.
But it was so great. I was like, oh my God, somebody figured out what what's great about food. No, so that was that stood out for me.
That's good.
And that was it. There's nothing special. And then we did stuff with, we got Susan's sister's car smogged, and we were so excited about that. Yeah. Holy moly. Susan is like a miracle worker. She's like...
For getting her car smogged?
Well, it's not just to get the car smogged. We're transferring the title, and from her mom. I mean, there's a whole bunch of things that happened.
Yeah.
Her mom died at the same time my mom died, or a month before my mom died. I don't remember anymore. I think so.
It was right around there, yeah. I think before.
So,
slightly before.
So it's like one of these, you can't get, and then she couldn't get it smogged because she didn't drive during the pandemic. And this happened to a lot of people. Something on the electronic thing that has to read, it has to go a certain amount of miles. So a lot of people after the pandemic could not get their cars smogged because it had sat, not working for a year.
Gotcha.
This is not a great story.
Not yet.
But anyway, I'm back.
Oh, damn it.
I rented a Dodge Challenger.
A muscle car. A little muscle car for you.
I didn't ask for it. It did not have a racing stripe.
That's good.
That's good.
Did it have a Confederate flag on the top?
It has a spoiler, which Susan and I are not big fan of the faux racing.
They didn't alert you to that?
See, you don't think this is an extraordinary show? I got that joke.
that was definitely
right?
Definitely something.
And
something that would only happen in the early part of the day.
I mean, holy moly! It's like the clouds, the clouds separated.
Wow.
So yeah, but I'll tell you what I did like about it. That thing, that baby, she's got some power under the hoo-hoo.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. And $85 to fill the car up. And that's not even that much. We filled up Gina's car, $105. What's the deal with the gas prices? At these prices, you know what, Josh? You might as well just take a kidney. Anything?
I think you could have picked a more sensitive organ.
Okay. At this point...
Talking to me.
All right. Oh! Yeah, you have to admit, you wouldn't think that I would have the whatever it's called to remember that before doing the joke.
Decency was right.
Decency, the common decency. So, I'm back home, and you know why I feel good, Josh? I don't know about you, but I feel good because I'm not. Every other year, I would be ramping. I would already be dizzy trying to write the speech.
Oh, yeah. Or trying to get me to write the speech.
Trying to get you to write the speech. Wait a second. Is this what the story's going to be in your... Is this what's going to be in your autobiography? That you carried me for the last 7 years of the speech?
No, you won't be mentioned in my autobiography.
Oh, but I would be, right? I mean, let's not mean...
Well, yeah, just in order to get you to read it.
I told you that Barney Frank, is that his name?
The gay congressman from Massachusetts.
He's not the gay congressman. He's a congressman who happened to be gay. No, he would say when he would read any kind of political book, he would look in the back and under the index to see if he was in there. Frank, if he was talked about.
I think everybody in public life does that with a book.
I do that all the time, and it's amazing. Like, why do I think I was involved in CAA's rise to power? Why would I even?
Right.
It's like, why do I think I'm going to be in the original William Morris book? Anything with entertainment, I think it's sad, though, that anything with entertainment, I would look in the back for my name. It's just not going to be there.
Sad but true. We file that under.
So now, young man, you have not been with me. Normally, be talking to me during the week. This is a fucking. This is like a.
Well, I did. We had some why I can't record interchanges.
Yes, exactly. Did anything happen to our wonderful town while we were gone?
No, it just felt slightly lighter and less panicky.
You can't possibly argue to the listener that my personality affects you all week.
I think it does. I think it changes the curve. Is
it walking by the house?
There's a little bit of that. That will he see me? Will he? Ha 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 ha. I feel that through the wall sometimes.
Well, I'm staring at your fucking house because here's what I do. When you have OCD, you can't not do the thing you tell yourself to do. Don't look at his house. Okay. Well, certainly don't look to see if there's a light on. Is there a light on over there? It's predictable.
Yeah.
It's predictable.
A little bit.
As if you would be standing. Who in their house stands by their window observing the street?
Only horror movie characters, really.
Do you have any people on your street who have an area in the front, like the Andy Griffith and Barney would talk on?
No.
Because I always thought that's something I wouldn't want.
No, we like to have a wall between us and a gun barrel here.
Because I've been walking, as you know, I walk. So I went all the way on the other side of the thing, and I did see people had nice little, and they're out there every once in a while, chewing the thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, why would I not want to be on my front porch? I want to get in the house and then hide in the house. I don't want to get in the house and then come back out the front door. Now, the back door. Good?
Yeah, I like editing.
Well, first of all, in my defense, that's the only one I've done so far.
Yeah.
So that's good.
All right.
Wait a second. You do the sleep thing too. You haven't not done the sleep thing.
Oh no, I've done it. I've done it today, and I've wanted to I've wanted to do it 3 or 4 more times today.
Really? I find that odd. I thought I was on my game today. Well, there's no game.
There's no game.
What is the game? How exciting could I make the trip down there? I opened up today with the should I pee before the podcast? Boom.
Right, that was your first mistake. We call that.
You're ornery today.
I'm a little ornery.
You're full of piss and vinegar.
Yes.
Ugh, that would be bad.
I have to piss and vinegar before the show.
And did you see anything? Oh, can you bring me up to date? Because I haven't been watching it, although I got the baseball package. But that's quite a series with the 2-2 right now, right?
Yes, the NBA Finals you speak of.
Yes.
Yes, it's been good. Last night's game was especially good.
I was listening to a podcast on the way home, and they were saying that the reffing right now, there's just a whole thing on This American Life about refereeing, and that it's become people like LeBron James, and in my day it was Magic Johnson. Back in the Magic Johnson days, this report was saying, they really, a lot of times the stars could get the calls. Like Larry Bird, when he would do a 7-foot layup, take 7 steps and do a layup.
Yes.
He didn't get called on that when he was clearly traveling a lot. Not a lot, but so was Magic. Magic was too. So, but they were, back in those days, you really could influence the call. Now you can't really influence. Now what's happening is, because of all the replays and everything, the big stars aren't getting as many. They don't feel they're getting as many calls, and they feel that they should be getting those calls. I just was an interesting take on it. That first of all, that being a ref sounds like still sounds like a terrible job.
The stars are wrong in this case. They shouldn't be getting the calls.
Right, and then they would say right.
And I think most NBA players will tell you, as long as refs are consistent with what they're calling throughout a game, they won't get super pissed off.
Right, but what they're saying is that there's some teams like Golden State is known for, I'm not sure saying it's true, they're known for complaining more than other teams. And he's specifically known for complaining more.
Who is Draymond or Steph Curry?
Steph Curry. The team as a whole, maybe not him. The team as a whole is an unpleasant team to deal with, is what they were saying, because they work the refs more. But I'm not saying, I don't know if that's true or not. I mean, it'd be not true. I would know if I watched the sport.
No.
I used to get really angry at LeBron until I became to like LeBron, because LeBron, I thought, did a lot of whining, and Magic did too. I mean, Magic was my hero, so I couldn't. To me, I never saw a moment where he looked like he was complaining, but he was all the time. He was just like,
it's anyone who goes to the rim and doesn't get a foul call, the knee-jerk reaction, the almost instinctive action is to at least glare or gesture at the referee.
Right.
It is much more the exception than the rule that people don't comment if they think they were fouled.
And also, I think, like, I don't know if flopping's gotten worse, but I mean, flopping is such a huge thing that
I don't know that it has gotten worse because they do it because they addressed it directly.
Right, right.
There is now a foul. There is now a flopping penalty, and if it's a egregious flop, and there is a lot more no calls on the flops.
Do they call it the Vladi Divac?
They do not, but he was the master.
And if you ever, I'd love to see a greatest hits thing because it really looks like a Charlie Chaplin. I mean, it looks like a whatever trick thing. You can't believe how well they go down, and
Yes, it's pantomime at its fastest.
This is a well matched thing, is the deal, right?
Seemingly so.
And you seem to be rooting for Boston, I think you said.
I am absolutely not rooting for Boston.
Oh, you went the other way. You're rooting for I've never rooted for. Have you never? I've never rooted. I can't root for Boston institutionally.
Yes, institutionally, I am unable to contractually root for Boston as a Lakers fan.
I was around during the Red Auerbach days. Oh my God, I couldn't stand them with the big cigar. They were always an obnoxious group, and they all had this crazy arena with this floor. I know they were rigged. They rigged something over there.
Yeah.
Not rigged something, but it played well for the Boston people.
What, the parquet floor?
Well, I used to hear that they would be. I used to hear that was maybe the best home, like that was the toughest,
the best home
play.
court advantage. Yes,
for the team.
Yes,
right, not for the other.
Plus, they'd like turn off the hot water in the opponent's dressing room, and it was a tiny, tiny little closet of a opponent's locker room, and there was every bit of gamesmanship that could happen with Red Auerbach.
And they were so obnoxious. Bill Russell, they were so full of themselves because they won everything.
Yeah.
That may have been why.
It was.
So you're rooting for Golden State anyway, because you live here and you also like the team. And
I like, actually, if I wasn't a Lakers fan, I could like this Boston team. But
okay, I didn't realize that. It's not like a knee jerk.
No, I just can't root for Boston to win one more title than the Lakers have at this point.
Boston's like a scary town, comedy-wise, for me. So I always think like they're rough guys and they're going to kill you.
Well, that's definitely one of those comedy leadership towns.
Yeah, but I wouldn't have even tried it like I never played any place there like of Knicks or. Did you?
No, not as a stand-up. I've played there with Cinematic Titanic a few times.
At Knicks?
No, I mean
just
in
the
Boston.
area.
Yeah,
right. And and the Mets are doing good, so I'm very happy about that.
How many games have you watched on your MLB package?
I watched the first 5 of them until I watched every one until I left town.
Yeah,
but they were winning most of them.
Yeah,
so it's always I'm not like a fair weather. See, I wouldn't watch the Mets if they were in last place. I mean,
right.
You can't be
That's
expected to.
Yeah, you're not a fair weather.
I think you're supposed to, though, if you're like in the old days we would celebrate. When I was a kid, we celebrate how bad the Mets were. We did kind of love it. Casey Stengel was very funny talking about how terrible we were.
Right.
So we did celebrate, but we also had a championship in 7 years. So that's an easy way to celebrate the early days when you won in the first 7 years.
Yes.
Yeah, because if it didn't have the World Series in '69, there wouldn't have been a good ending to this is the worst team there's ever been.
Yes. There's a reason they called them the Miracle Mets.
That's true. And I didn't even realize that Gil Hodges just went into the Hall of Fame this year. That's pretty amazing.
on the Veterans Committee?
No, in the as a Hall of Famer.
I understand, but he was voted in by the Veterans Committee.
Oh, I didn't know. I don't know that you knew how Cooperstown works, but now I see.
I do intricately. Yes.
How could he have not gone in earlier? And also, I said, I'm not this stupid. I said, I know that's not Gil Hodges, but his son, Gil Jr., is about 70.
Yeah.
So he was supposed to be one of the greatest people. He was like Willie Mays' best friend. Not Willie Mays' best friend. I lied again. Jackie Robinson's best friend.
Ah.
And, That's all I have with my baseball, although I have some great Ebbets Field stories. Back in the old. Did you ever see that documentary about the Brooklyn Dodgers? It's pretty good. But the idea was that they didn't. The idea used to be that they abandoned New York. That's what we were taught as kids. They abandoned New York. But now it looks like they really weren't. New York wasn't exactly helping. You know, they could have done a couple of things.
Right.
Spruced up the park.
Sure.
And they would have stayed in Brooklyn. Maybe.
And then what?
Well, I used to hate the Dodgers when I was a kid because my friend Kenny Gordon, who owns Kenny and Zooks, he would just torture me with the Dodgers. How great they were, because the Mets were sad for many years.
Right.
And I guess the Dodgers, that was when I was born in 56, so the Dodgers had, that was Koufax during my life. And how could you not like Sandy Koufax? I never took it out against Sandy Koufax.
Yeah, but you were never a baseball fan when the Dodgers were still in New York or in Brooklyn. They left when you were 4.
Yeah, no. I don't remember anything about that. But I'm trying to think of I only remember the Polo Grounds, obviously, because I would have been 5.
Yeah.
So.
And you hate polo.
I don't hate polo. Why am I? What am I protecting here? You know what, Josh? I don't think that's particularly nice of you to say that I hate.
Right.
Do you have any picks for things to watch? I'm ready. I'm back, ready to watch new things.
Game 5, I would recommend.
Oh, are the Rangers out?
I have no idea.
It's 3-2 with the Rangers.
All right.
They're facing elimination. You never watch.
Aren't we all?
How come the doggies are so quiet today? Is it Saturday? Is it because it's Saturday? No. You never know when the doggies are going to be.
You can't predict it.
I do realize there is less noise now on Saturday from the various people leaf blowing.
Yeah.
And everything. It's a pleasure. And less planes today. If we had a great podcast to show the people, this would be a perfect time.
Yeah. Thank God we don't.
How do you know we don't? How do you know there's not someone out there right now going, did you hear them last week? Just shooting the shit. Andy was talking about how he had a Dodge Challenger. No, it sucked. I don't think I'm going to listen again. Come on. I can't think of one person's name now. Chaotic Neutral?
It was like eavesdropping on a booth at the home cafeteria.
I'd love to be no one would like to be a fly in the wall during this.
Even water gets a...
What?
Nothing.
Like I did a little business?
You didn't do business. It's just your natural drinking noise.
Let me see if I can drink quietly. That's not bad.
That wasn't bad. Except for the comment. Except for the comment.
What's that?
The comment kind of ruined it.
Oh, okay. I see. You say your thing is you don't bring attention to any time you drink. So what I think about here, let me give you my opinion about biology. That's not a topic I can go off on.
You don't need to. You don't really need to set up this visual gag that much anyway.
Let me tell you what I really think of you, Josh. Okay? I'll tell you what I think of you. I think you're scum. I didn't have to go that far with it.
No, I don't think so either. Now I'm shut down.
But you were so opened up when the show started.
I really was. I'm a one-man glee club today.
Why would you be? Is there anything that is sticking in your gut that you want to get off your gut?
No, just a certain personal ennui.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. How long has it been happening? Did you feel it before the podcast?
No, it's just that the podcast just rubs it in my face.
I can't believe I didn't walk for a few days. That was like crazy. I think actually every day I walk a lot. Maybe just because I'm in the mode of walking. Somehow I look on my thing and it's 2 miles.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, I guess I'm saying I'm better than others.
Aren't you always in some way trying to say that?
I think that there is that edge to it.
At least angling?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like I definitely I always lie about how much I walk. I always lie about everything to do with anything where, have you seen this? Have you heard about this?
Well, in my general rule of thumb, narcissists round up.
Right. So, yeah, I think you're including me in that group.
Now, I just as a rule of thumb.
No, it's just not necessarily related to me. But, so I tell people I walk 4 miles a day. Well, that's a lie, isn't it?
I don't know.
I walk 3 miles a day.
Okay.
My goal is to walk 4
Well, if it's any solace, 4 doesn't sound more impressive than 3, really.
5, I think, does.
5 sounds a
was
little more
originally-
impressive, yeah, but it sounds like a lie, too.
Well, that's the thing. It's like,
People go, with those little legs?
I do about it. You know, I'm not, I do a comfortable, I make a nice living pace when I walk.
Yeah.
So if I'm walking at a healthy clip, I can do about 3 miles an hour.
Okay.
20-minute miles.
All right.
No one's going to write home
It's
about
not that healthy a clip, really. That's not like a, I think, isn't 4 miles an hour kind of average walking?
Why don't you, are you reading off of a list?
No, that's what I have in my head as,
When I don't mean okay. I guess I don't mean a healthy clip like I'm speed walking. I mean just comfortable.
Okay.
A stroll.
So it's not really a clip at all, is
stroll.
what you're saying.
I don't know. You walk. Well, you can't walk.
I can't
So
walk,
you can't do it.
But,
So,
but I can walk that half a block really fast.
well, you got me again. But no, it means that I would like to actually. I am trying to increase. Would love to be able to get 4 miles in an hour. That would be good. But that's faster than I would be comfortable doing.
Yeah.
I don't have long strides, maybe.
I'm looking up average walking speed now.
No, that'd be good.
3 to 4 miles per hour is typical for most people, it says.
Right. So 3 feels, right now I'm at about 3 miles an hour.
Okay.
But it's also sometimes it's hard to tell because sometimes I stop and I'll do something. Then how are you going to do it then? You're going to figure it out.
You could speed up to keep your average up.
Well, they have all these other things that are interesting. Walking, like when you go to your health in your iPhone, walking asymmetry, all those things I'm pretty good at. Then there's another one like, are you walking, almost like an old person question, is your walk okay? Are you walking okay, kind of? And it's not really exactly what it is. But they always say you're doing okay, but they never say, man, you're like a 10-year-old with that.
Do the directions keep taking you to the cane store?
No, I'll read you, though. I'll read you what they are so I can come up with that word. So you're able to do this during the podcast, look at various things.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so far today, I walked 1.8 miles in walking back from the rental car place to get my mail and home.
Good.
And 3 miles an hour. But this is the thing they say. Walking asymmetry. 1.5%. That's supposed to be good. You're not.
You're not sashaying down the street.
I used to like to. I never sashayed, but I did skip as a kid. I remember skipping.
Skipping always seemed like a really good way of getting around as a kid.
It was fun. You don't want to be observed that much.
Not that much, but it did seem like an efficient way to cover a lot of ground.
Yeah, I wonder what makes you skip and what sadly stops you from skipping.
Societal pressure beats it out of all of us.
You've got to be watching something that you like that you can hit me onto, or you.
Well, but I watched.
How about summer reading?
Like I watch things that you're not going to watch. Like I've been watching Obi-Wan Kenobi, the series. And I watched, sports.
What's Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Exactly.
I know it's Star Wars, but what is it?
Yeah, why explain it if that's all you know?
Well, I read
he's a central character in Star Wars. If you don't know who he is, then there's no point in going in.
Oh no! But I mean, when you say Obi-Wan Kenobi, I mean if you meant the Obi-Wan Kenobi story, or Obi, he's back and now he's teaching. I didn't know it was a movie you were watching.
It's
What
a
is
series.
the project?
It's
called?
a series on.
It's called
on
Obi-Wan
Disney
Kenobi?
Plus. Yes.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I read an article that they had Disney lost a lot of money trying to have an immersive
Yes.
Star Wars hotel
Yes.
at Disneyland. Do you know anything about that?
I did. Yes.
Well, what happened? Could you see why it didn't go well?
I could see why it didn't go well because it's a lot of people. It's a little too. I would think it's a little too structured. A vacation.
Do you stay at the place?
You stay at the place, and it's all the self-contained world. You know.
So the guy at the front desk is not Shatner. I'm mixing up the things.
You are.
The guy at the front desk. There's got to be a lot of things like when they go into the Star Wars bar. That's got to be the only bar there, right?
It's all cosplay. The whole thing is cosplay. Yes.
I can't imagine that they thought that would work.
Oh, I can imagine they thought it would work, and I'm sure that they did an excellent job of executing what they were going for. You know, because they're really good at the shit. They really are.
Right.
You know, if you're willing to suspend your financial disbelief, Disney will take care of you and your family. I know this just from staying at a park in Florida for a week and going all over the place doing a shoot. You know, and
is that where I was when I was at Epcot Center? Is that the same general area?
yeah,
I stayed at the Disneyland Hotel then, or something. Right?
Yeah.
Is that where you stayed?
I did not. I stayed at a different place. I stayed at Disney Safari, which had all these giant wild animals right outside my on a savannah.
Are you telling me that if you're in the Star Wars hotel, that like you all day long there'll be people calling, they'll be calling up and saying, we need your I don't know what they use in Star Wars. Not a phase shifter. Saber, your lightsaber needs to be taken down to the housekeeping.
Hopefully it's better than that, but yeah. But yes, they it's all like, fantasy role play, cosplay bullshit.
Yeah, I think the problem with it is that people go to the movies because they think the movies present the world that it invites you in. They don't want to go to a physical. I guess it's more along the second reality.
But I think it's also like, there's no windows and there's no, I'm sure it's, because there's fake windows with digital things in them, but it's trying to be this immersive thing. And I'm sure A, it's pretty claustrophobic. B, you're sitting there knowing there's a whole world of Disney out there. And if you might want to take a break,
I would love to be the front desk of that hotel. Someone goes up, hey, I don't feel I'm in room,
I'm sorry.
What's that?
Sorry, go ahead.
No, give me a room that would be a Star Wars room.
The Millennium Falcon suite.
And people go, I don't feel good. Like the air's bad. And I go, that's the way it is in space.
Right.
That's all I would do all day. Exactly the way it is.
In space, no one can hear you complain.
I think there's something that's so great about, like, if I could experience like the horror of that thing. I mean, the thing of it imploding or not working out is very Schadenfreude for me.
Oh, sure. I'm with you. I'm with you. And as much, like I said, as much as I can compliment how they pull off what they're going for, they're still shaking you by the fucking ankles for the entire time there. And I have a very negative feeling about the thought of going there to any part of the Disney park.
I would watch the document. I didn't think that the Fire Festival documentaries really got me that. I didn't get the whole view of how bad it was.
Yeah.
I guess you had to have been there on that horrible trip.
It was pretty Schadenfreude, though. That was a good kind of Schadenfreude.
Yeah.
Because it was 100% people you wanted to suffer. Like top to bottom. There was nobody in the entire thing you felt bad for.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Because you're getting it from the point of view of YouTube stars, so you're not going to feel.
Yeah. And they went for the douche cell. And they hooked a bunch of douches with it.
This is the thing that
I kind of felt worse for the people at Woodstock 99 in that documentary.
What was that? Oh, I didn't see that. Is it worth seeing?
Yeah, it's an HBO thing. It's in the part of the Music Box series.
I jotted it down.
Well, that's surefire.
Well, okay, I'm using one of my phone of friends.
Yeah.
What was it? What were we talking about?
We were talking about how we should start doing questions.
It's time for questions. What do you want to know? We love your questions so much. It's half our show. Half our show.
That's the best segue I think you've ever done. Here we go. Here we go, baby.
All right.
Pickle says, earlier today I was caught in a reverie. I never really knew what one was until today, and let me tell you, fellas, that as reveries go, this was, well, quite the reverie. Not gonna lie, it was hours ago, and I'm still shook. You know what, Pickles? I'm gonna say to you, excellent opening salvo. I mean, that captures the spirit of the letter section.
Yeah.
It's out there a little bit.
I'm not down with it, I have to say.
Oh.
Because it's not the letters section, it's the question section.
I'm sorry, I did mess that up.
Right.
So how come it's good for questions?
And where's the question, is my question.
I thought when you initially...
Seems more like a cry for attention than a question for me.
Pickles, don't listen to the... Look, I'm trying to cheer up Pickles Sorrell. What am I don't even know if I know if she ever... I think she did show up on an episode.
Yeah, Pickles was not a fully invisible character now.
Yeah, but I don't remember who played her, and I want to say Kay Lenz.
All right.
Is that a person?
It is a person. I don't think it's the right person, but...
No.
Dan Wade
That I know.
says, according to Wikipedia, James Mason's son Morgan is married to Belinda Carlisle. I wonder if James had a favorite Go-Go song. I guess we'll never know since his lips are, dead.
I'm so stupid. I thought that Morgan Mason was married to Belinda Carlisle.
Yeah.
That's not true.
Why are you so stupid?
Because that's a joke, right?
I don't think it is, no.
I always thought that people came up with their James Mason things completely made up out of whole cloth.
No. Sometimes there's a real world in.
But it's not true that he made commercials for that terrible Thunderbird wine. That you made that up.
I'm tired of you disputing my career. I will never apologize for any of my work. I will never apologize for feeding my family.
Well, people die from that. It's horrible. You're lucky you didn't personally get sued.
Just because it happens to be the choice of a very sophisticated brand of derelict doesn't mean that it's my fault.
We don't say derelict anymore.
I don't care.
You know what I like about James? He's back and he's a little bit saucy.
I'm very glad to see that my son Morgan is happily married to a go-go. I remember when as I was dying, they were just breaking their first single, so I don't really have a favorite, but...
I just can't imagine that James Mason would name his son Morgan.
I don't understand the problem.
Eminem or MM? No, I guess I'm so expecting someone to say something fake, I can't even buy the truth now.
Wow. Get out of your own head, little man.
Yo, 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 yo.
Yo! Yo! Yo!
Yo! Yo! What's the end of that song?
Yo, 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 Yoshi Yamamoto.
Yoshi Yamamoto says, Andy, isn't it inspiring that no matter what's happening in the world, no matter what horrible tragedy, Emily Nussbaum always finds the courage to let you know her Wordle score a few minutes after midnight. Oh, thank you, Yoshi. She is the kind of person who would do that without having any idea that she's coming off as whatever that would be called, pretentious or showy. But thank you. That made me very happy.
B.D. West says, Mr. Kindler, Mr. Weinstein, Which member of the Darwin family named the bumblebee species? The suckly cuckoo bumblebee? The crotch bumblebee? Was it a 12-year-old Dickie Darwin? Is a bee a fish? Again, a lot of question marks, no question.
Yeah. I don't know if I get. Why can I not get? Why don't I? I don't even get the joke here. You have to explain to me because you went to the college with BD West.
He was the kid with in the football helmet.
Yeah. The suckly cuckoo.
Yeah, here's my. If you really want me to interpret this,
Yeah.
I will. I think that he's seen these bee names,
Right.
and thought they were very juvenile, and then decided to make a Darwin joke about it.
Well, one time I came up with this joke that I thought was a brilliant joke for 2 minutes. I said, with all of these scientists, the best word they could come up with was fly. Well, then I have to be informed that it's not called a fly, Andy. That is not the technical name.
Right.
It is a Aristeus conchmiclis or So, but can you, again, I think I'm stupid. That's my own problem. But I'm walking around 3 or 4 minutes going, fly. And they're scientists and they get the big money. You probably have never had that thing where you went along that long a time with a bad premise before you realized it was terrible.
No, I don't think I have.
BD West is back.
Uh-oh.
And he says, Seth Green stole my monkey. I don't know what that means. You do.
That's a Bored Ape Yacht Club reference. And I'm not going to explain further.
What'd you say?
Exactly. Don't call me Boopsy says my dad died a couple weeks ago. I'm very sorry. As people that have been through this, how long before well-meaning acquaintances stop patting me on the arm, asking me if I need anything, and calling me buddy? Really not a bit this time. Oh, really not a bit this time. My next question will be a pun, I promise.
Well, I'm very sorry that your dad died, and I think that this is one of the most difficult things about life. People don't know what to say, and
my advice is appreciate the people who are trying to say something.
Yeah.
Rather than the people who scatter and are too afraid to even try.
Right.
But do understand that people are completely inept at
that's true.
at that kind of sympathy, because they're never gonna provide you with the thing you actually want, which is the person back, first of all, and
well said.
and it's unlikely they're going to provide even the flavor of the thing you want. Like I found the Shiva process to be just absolutely a nightmare.
For both? You did it for both times?
Yeah, yes.
I mean, I'm not trying to be snippy or weird, but the second time, you didn't have a mother or father left. Who in the family was considering themselves Jewish like that?
Well, my brother absolutely considers himself Jewish.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that.
And it's what my parents would have done. So I would even if I was an atheist, I would have done it.
That would have been very cool.
And I consider myself Jewish. I just am not.
Yeah.
It's just not a spiritual focal point in my life.
Well, I consider myself culturally Jewish as well, but we didn't.
But it's absolutely. There was never a consideration of not doing it for my mom when she died, because of all of her friends would have done it, and they would have been horrified that we didn't.
Well, this is an example of the fact that you grew up in a Jewish community when I didn't grow up in a Jewish community. I grew up in an Italian community with some Jews.
Yeah. No, I grew
By
up.
the time I got to high school, it was all Jewish.
I mean, I didn't grow up in a Jewish community, but I grew up with, like.
I'm saying I think I'm mixing up. I was geographically in an Italian neighborhood.
Yeah. I mean, I was in one of the goy centers of the universe, but there was a Jewish community within that.
I think I have misapprehension about it from the movie. What's the name of the movie?
A Serious Man.
Yeah, because it seems like everyone's Jewish in that movie, and that's the whole community.
Right. But it's a movie about Judaism within a non-Jewish world.
Right. Which is so funny to me. It's just so funny because, you know, when you grew up in the Disneyland of Judaism, which I did. I mean, I grew up in one of the hubs.
Right.
You know, I could go 4 blocks in Queens and hear someone go, the pastrami is good. So it's always was fascinating to me, Judaism without the sound of Jews, of the classic sound of Jews.
But no, but Jews, even Jews in Minnesota make the classic sound of Jews.
But I always thought Dave Higgins' impression was funny because he would be the Midwest rabbi.
Yeah, but what the fuck does Dave Higgins know about what it's really like?
Don't tell him. If I didn't laugh, I don't think you realize if I didn't laugh, he would punch me in the arm or something like that back in those days. I didn't laugh at his bits.
Yeah, no, he'll still remember that you didn't.
No, it's.
I'm not saying it wasn't funny. I'm just saying it wasn't actually accurate.
Right. No, I don't see him as I certainly don't see him as an expert in anything. Oh, I'm going to try and do this now.
All right.
Jason, excitable boy Parton.
Uh-huh.
You know why I can do it?
Because you looked?
It's contained all within the...
It's short, yeah.
Yeah. Says, you guys... did you have anything more? Again, we're very sorry about Boopsy's dad. I'm sorry, but did we cover it? I think we covered it.
I guess so.
Did you want to say anything
we've
else?
already established there's nothing we can say that's going to make them feel better, so...
Right. And we hope you feel better, though. Jason, excitable boy Parton, says, you guys talked briefly about professionalism last week. Josh, please take a moment and remind Andy. Thanks for that. I run into that a lot out here playing music. As a big P progressive in a big C conservative area, I've learned to keep to myself. I don't remember the initial story that we were talking about, though.
I think we were just talking about the instinct to entertain the audience that's in front of you.
Right.
Out of a sense of professionalism, even if you don't like them or feel like they're your people, you know.
Yeah, I mean...
And I think that's true, you know. I think... I think it's true on 2 levels. A, there is that. There is just the pure, it's your job to entertain these people.
Yeah.
I don't think you need to sell your soul out to do that, you know, but I also think, you know, in this modern world, if you think you're saying something to change someone's mind in that context, you're only fooling yourself, you know. So if you can find something that will challenge somebody's beliefs and make them laugh, then that's great. That's the gold standard, you know. But if you're just challenging their beliefs, then you're only doing part of the job.
And that's why, like, I learned if I only am doing it took me a long time, not a long time, but just like you think everyone is watching the thing you are doing online or seeing or you're focusing on in politics. But that does become the thing. If you're talking about something that literally nobody in the room has any feelings about, you're just not going to go anywhere with it.
Yeah. And there's almost nothing in culture or pop culture right now where you're going to have 100% recognition of what you're even fucking talking about.
True. But the inside, it's like people, I guess there's still the thing about always like, there's always that comic who wants to have referenced a novel and then do a joke, not even about the novel, but maybe about the name of the novel and then be very upset that nobody got the joke. Well, you don't know Wuthering Heights?
Right.
Or something like that. Those are the things where people would think,
the equivalent of taking your hand and going over your head with it.
Yeah.
Waving it over your head, too.
That's Scheidner had the best one, right?
Oh, where he talks
Scheidner's?
about going into the forehead of it?
Yeah. The truth is, we got it, pal. It just wasn't funny. He was such a great stand-up. I'll tell you one person who has not written to us in a long time, and it makes me angry, is there's nothing from M. Ledsome. She claims to be a fan of the show.
Right.
But where's her letter? Where's her question?
The one right here referencing her letter from last week. Wrong time for the gag, I guess.
All right. I lost our place, too. Go ahead, take it.
M. Leadsom says, "Damn it, Andy, have you not read my dissertation on the works of David Warner? DM me, fella. J. Elvis, I assumed irony in your original question and laughed heartily at every honest response. I apologize. I will take all future questions at immediate face value. Love."
I have never had a woman or anybody say, DM me, fella. That's so great.
No, I really didn't know who are. I either haven't seen or don't remember the content of The Omen. I think I saw it when I was a kid, but I did not remember David Warner getting decapitated by a window. So that's what my question.
Thanks a lot for the spoiler.
That was my question. What movie was that from?
But see, my dad used to be a champion people that he claimed were the greatest actors and they were in everything. Like, so he would always say his two go-tos was Gig Young, and Arthur Kennedy.
Well,
they would disappear into a role.
David Warner has buried Gig Young in terms of the number of appearances he's made.
He's a famous person.
He's a working MF is what he is his whole career.
So I would definitely, if I see him, I have seen him though. I don't know if I read.
Yeah, you've seen him in a jillion things.
All right, okay. I'm sorry, Em. I apologize. You know, Josh doesn't mean to come across like this. Greg Kelly asks, I checked out the Ewan McGregor travelogue. It reminds me of shows Michael Palin did a generation ago, Around the World in 40 Days, Pole to Pole, etc. And he adds on, also forgive the second this week. He says, also forgive the second this week, but I'm in Manhattan as show drops Monday and have the morning to kill before I fly out of JFK. Does James Mason have some old haunts I should check out? I don't think James Mason's never been to New York. You know what I mean? He is not a traveler of any kind. Right, James?
I would check out the liquor store on 48th and Broadway where they sell Thunderbird wine.
You act like you're still getting residuals.
They gave me a share of the company in exchange for my endorsement.
Have you ever you've flown to LaGuardia a few times, right?
I have indeed, yes.
And there's some nice hotels by that.
Oh, that's the place to stay. There's no reason to even leave the area.
Yeah, they look a little drab from the outside, but you've had good luck with them.
Oh, yes, they're talking about JFK, by the way. They're flying out of JFK.
JFK is a classier airport than LaGuardia, and that means nothing.
It is the nicest airport in Queens. It really is. If I recommend no other airport in Queens this year, it would be JFK. It has an unusual tarmac all its own.
I was delighted to fly into John F. Kennedy. I can't do it. I tried.
I remember flying into Idlewild. Just before Khrushchev came in.
Man, he really does. I would love to be on a trip with him. I'm talking about James Mason.
Well, call my people. We'll arrange something.
Richard Cole says, I think there's one thing we can all agree on. Fuck the New York Yankees. My Toronto Blue Jays go 8-2 in their last 10 games, and they're still 7 games behind in the standings. They do lead the wild card race by 4.5 games. I think most people agree with you on this. Most people hate the Yankees, and I'm no exception because I was tortured by my grandfather and by Kenny Gordon for liking the Mets. The Mets are never the bad guys, usually.
Yeah. You know who the bad guy is? Kenny Gordon.
Don't even say it.
He's the worst. He was the worst.
No, that's not true because he has a very lovely deli now.
That's true. That's true.
Kenny and Zeus.
But he had to go to Portland to open it.
I wonder if he went up there and was bragging to them about the Brooklyn Dodgers. Oh, no, he wasn't even bragging about the Brooklyn Dodgers. He was bragging about the Los Angeles Dodgers. Of course.
Yeah.
And I was like, why are you rooting for him? They're out in Los Angeles. I probably had a weak comeback to him.
Stephen Elton Yates
And Stephen Elton Yates.
says, hey, fellas, where do you stand on hot sauce? Do you use it? What kind do you like? What do you put it on? Stephen, did you miss like a year of this program?
We talked about it, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we know Andy's stance on hot sauce. I'm pretty sure.
But just in case, Stephen, I don't know if you're aware that might have mentioned this. I went to was it Plan B? Was that where I went?
Sure.
And I'm eating the burger. Delicious. All of a sudden, you were with me there, too.
I was, yes.
And you said, I think the vinegar's getting to you. Once again, how this guy is
the vinegar or the
teaching-
ketchup?
I can only take mild sauce. And even if I can't even take mild sauce sometimes. And sometimes they just, like I went to P.F. Chang's in San Diego because we went to it.
Glad you were living so well.
Well, what are we going to do? But they have these like northern style ribs. Very nice. So then all of a sudden they decided to make the coleslaw crazy hot.
Yeah.
So that, I guess, for other people is a surprise.
Well, since there's no such thing as Chinese coleslaw, I think it's on you.
Well, they had it. So how would they call it? It's P.F. Chang's.
Yeah.
There's no P.F. also in
This
Chinese.
is true. This is true.
Seth Dick III says. Touche. Seth
There's
Dick
no
III,
PF in touche.
PF. Touche. Seth Dick III says, been thinking about this and hear me out. People that get engaged in public should have to consummate the marriage in public. Think of the content. I like it. I do think it's going to be a thing that already you can't ever pull it off again like it originally was.
Having sex in public? Or
proposing and they,
yeah. I think if you, I've always thought if you need to do something extremely memorable for your wedding proposal, if you think that your significant other is going to forget the time you proposed marriage to them, then you don't have a full grasp of the institution.
Yeah. Well, it's just one of those things like.
But I worked on America's Funniest Home Videos, as we've talked about, and I saw a lot of stunt proposals.
You said, what was the word you said?
Stunt proposals.
You mean like they weren't even, like it was just for the camera, obviously?
No, I mean a giant fucking skywriting or a cheerleading squad or whatever the fuck it is.
That must get so depressing. Is it always depressing? Is it depressing or is it funny? It gets funnier.
Well, it never, I mean, they rarely are actually funny.
Right, because they're kind of sad.
Well,
or they're serious.
I don't know. I don't think we're on the same wavelength here.
You propose to some. Are you not talking about the one where you do the dance into the church, right? And they do
no,
that.
I'm not. That's a
You're
wedding.
saying that
That's a wedding.
Right. You're saying a toast up on the Jumbotron, or I get on my knees at swim class.
Sure.
Get me off of this. Get me to the next question.
I was off. I wanted you off of it earlier.
I can't even say the name. I cannot pronounce the name, so I'm going to insist that you do this next question.
Warpsy Head. Hi, dudes. Sorry I haven't sent anything riveting in a while. Actually had a house fire, which actually sucks contrary to what you may have heard. Time to get serious for a moment. Where's the Cancel My Quinceañera t-shirts?
We got to start. I mean, there's so much money to be made that we're leaving on the table.
Yeah. I'll be honest. I'm at max effort right now with the podcast. I can't.
Yeah.
Graphic design just isn't gonna happen right now.
No. I mean, we have some things in the works. Let's not kid ourselves.
Sure.
Chaotic Neutral.
That is kidding ourselves.
No, you were kidding ourselves, but don't. Chaotic Neutral says, hey guys, so I've been hosting a game show for the past few months. Unfortunately, the venue closed, and I'm debating whether to try and find another. Pluses, it cons people into thinking that I'm smart and funny. Minuses, it's a pain to write, and there's no money in it.
So it's like a podcast.
Yeah, I think you have to judge by how much fun you're having and how much a pain it is. Those are can be fun things.
It is a pure effort to reward equation here.
Right.
You know, if having people think you're smart and funny is enough to fuel the effort to write and produce, then there's your answer.
But it does sound like he's tired of writing it.
Yeah, I understand.
Because it's a game show, and that's a limited. Oh, I don't know. I don't know what the thing is. Any game show, first of all, most game shows are written by a few people, right? They have
Correct.
staff.
Correct.
So it's hard to
Also,
continue.
they're on TV generally.
That's true, but I've been a part of some fun. Well, who's that guy who always used to do it? J. Keith Van Stratton? Does that name ring a bell?
It does.
So he would always do a thing like he's doing concentration in not concentration. Is that a game? Is that a board game?
I believe it was a game show.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad I didn't forget to put that in there. Yeah. But again, if you're having fun, and of course the fact that there's no money in most things does mean eventually that you don't want to do them sometimes.
Right.
Unless you're getting really soul satisfaction.
Well, or unless there's some way to grow it. If there a way to grow within the context of what you're doing, or is it just repeating the same thing over and over too? That's part of how I judge things. Is as soon as you know,
can you do not even take it to the next level, but do something else interesting, right? Or like how
is there a way to keep making it better?
Yes, something I've never been able to. Christopher Citro says, been listening through the archives of Dana Gould's podcast, and several times he's quoted with attribution Andy's line about his target audience being men my age who are me. Any Dana Gould jokes you guys remember? I remember a lot of them. Put on the, he used to say, take a swim in Lake U. So many of his things are the way he says things. So
yes,
almost anything he says is pretty funny.
Yeah, I mean, I love Dana Gould, and I've seen a lot of Dana Gould over the years, and
well, like one joke.
But he was one of the first. He was really one of the first comics that came through Minneapolis, where you go, oh, there's like a whole other way to do this shit.
Right, and he is at the forefront in a way of, I don't even know if it's a forefront of the way he tells. He just is Dana Gould. He's Dana Gould inhabiting stand-up. Yeah. He's really kind of one of a kind.
Yeah.
You know. What was that one? Sorry.
No, I just said yeah. John Hand says, thanks for taking on question on TS260. Let me clarify. I consider playing material numerous times the high. Oh, this is John Hand, who listens to our podcast to fall asleep and also listen to Mystery Science Theater.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember that.
Let me clarify. I consider playing material numerous times the highest of compliments. The key as a sleep aid is that it is interesting enough to hold your attention, but knowing what is coming next lets you fall asleep at any time. So we can make it about Andy. There was a phase when I listened to his available state of the industry addresses night after night. So Andy, how does using CPAP fit into your night routine?
Oh God, I lost the question now. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Just answer it. How does using CPAP fit into your night routine?
Well, you know, and the weird thing that happened today was that I forgot my CPAP machine on the way to San Diego. And so we were going to buy I forgot the cord. It was like I bought the machine, but I unplugged it and I was rushing and I forgot to bring the cord. And that's like $100 if you wanted just the cord. So for some reason
That's like Macintosh, those prices.
Yeah, it's Macintosh. I slept very well this week, Susan said. So it was interesting to know that I could survive. And she's like not snoring. And so maybe it was the ocean or something like that. But then I got back to town and I put it back on and I still wasn't able to sleep. I have a problem with sleeping in general, which could be an age thing and I'll have some more coffee. What time is it? 2 a.m.? Let's do it.
Well, I can't imagine under any circumstances being able to sleep with a CPAP machine on. So It's honestly, the thought of it just makes me squirm out of my skin.
Oh, well, no, if you had the problem and it was resolved, then you might feel differently because you go, oh. But it never feels like you're putting on and sucking in nitrous and you're going to, No,
it's just shit on my head and face.
Yeah.
That would bother me.
And it's also hard when you have a beard. I've been told that by almost everybody who uses a CPAP machine that the beard is problematic in a way.
Yeah.
So,
well,
some people with the beard just use the nose ones.
Thankfully, I stopped smoking and lost some weight, and it's not a big issue anymore.
Exactly. Where are we now?
The final of the John Hand trilogy, saying, Josh, after final potty, do the dogs sleep with you, Allison, or in between? Who has to get up with them when nature calls?
Well, you can only answer that if you want to answer it. Very personal.
Well, the dogs don't sleep on the bed. They used to kind of want to, but they don't. They both actually. Clyde has now in the last 6 months or so. Actually, maybe even a year now. He just thought it was Allison's closet is his bedroom now. It's like he moved into Greg Brady's room. And he prefers to sleep in the closet now.
Oh, but if you would encourage them to sleep with you, they would have slept with you all this time.
Well, Lucky used to like actually sleep under a blanket with nuzzled against Allison. But now she just likes her space.
Yeah. So it's an age thing normally.
So they both jump up in the morning.
Yeah. It's so cute. It's so cute over there. It makes me want to kill myself.
Me too.
I love it. I love
That's why we have a suicide pact.
Mike Waldner says, I was waiting until, hi Mike, I was waiting until Andy watched Get Back, but it feels like that might not happen. What did you think of the bugged flower pot? Incredible to get a Paul John conversation when they didn't think they were being recorded, but felt like it crossed a line. Was it worth it? You can only answer this.
I don't know. It's weird. I thought it was a bullshit thing to do too by Michael Lindsay Hogg, but Michael Lindsay Hogg seemed like a big weasel throughout the whole project anyway. But it's the kind of thing that's like uncool to do in 1970, but cool that you did it 50 years later, Right.
So what did they say? I mean, I'll have to listen to it to see what they say.
Yeah, I don't even remember the exact content of it, but it was like them slipping off to have a private conversation to work things out and talk about, I think, George's leaving and coming back or not coming back. Or
so didn't they get mad? You don't see them getting mad at being surreptitiously taped because they don't know it, or
they don't know it at the time. It wasn't like it wasn't in the movie Let It Be. So, it's very possible they didn't know, that Lennon never knew and that Paul didn't know until they made this thing.
I'm telling you that if I was working with the Beatles, I wouldn't want to do anything to mess it up.
Yeah.
Well, who is that guy? Why can't I think of who he is? Who is that Lindsay Hogg guy?
He's the guy who directed Let It Be.
And do they also make fun of him a lot in the Ruddles or something? Or why do I know his name a lot? I'm trying to think.
Well, Tony Hendra's character name was a lot like that in Spinal Tap.
That's where I'm getting it from. Yeah. Sir Eaton Hogg or something like that.
Right.
Okay, we do that. Sous vide, what's up? This should be non-controversial. What is the difference between living and existing? There's nothing controversial about that. It's a big difference.
I'm living and he's existing. It's that simple.
Yeah, that's right. I think the song says, I want to live, not merely survive. And I think he says something, if I have to give up this dream of, I don't know, all those songs sound the same. They got to be me. Stop trying to have me be you.
I got to be me my way.
There's nothing that you can say that may even be true that doesn't eventually sound cliche. So like if you really do believe, which I do believe, that love is the answer, it still doesn't work if you go, love's the answer.
No.
Doesn't work.
No. But
especially
with that voice, it doesn't work.
Love's the answer. Oh, I saw a good one. Mucho, mucho amor. I saw about the Walter Mercado story.
Yeah.
Do you know anything about that?
No.
Oh, he's a very famous astrologer.
Yeah. No, I do. I know who he is, and I know.
Yeah.
I know that there's a doc, but I don't really know.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Did you?
I'm not going to go to the wall for it. What would I go?
Polypotassium says, so San Diego, huh? They got that zoo and the cool ocean breezes and this fancy Italian restaurant called the Old Spaghetti Factory. Subtle flavors in a romantic setting. That would be funnier if he hadn't have gone to P.F. Chang's.
Yeah, they have like a Little Italy over there. San Diego really is a very quaint, fun place. I love going. I never not love going there because there's always great views and they have Del Mar but it's not the cultural center of the world.
No, to me it feels very sort of stuffy and sterile in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and also Navy-like.
Yeah.
But beautiful. I mean, La Jolla is beautiful.
It's a beautiful
Pacific
place.
Beach.
Beautiful weather, beautiful place.
I used to love going to play the Improv when I did because it would be like going to another beach area.
Yeah.
I was into beach areas at one point.
I know you were.
Mike Parrish says, in an alternate universe where you both are pro ball players, Andy Amet and Josh are twin, what positions would you play? And most importantly, what would your walk-up songs be when you stepped up to the plate? Andy, may I suggest Karen? I don't think that's going to get the crowd going. I think I would be like Bad to the Bone.
Bad to the
Constantly.
Bone?
Yeah,
Right.
of course.
I would be Summer Breeze would be my song probably because of the wind my bat creates. And I would be I'm built to be a first baseman, really, but I'm terrified to be a first baseman. So maybe right field.
I'm built to be like a shortstop or a second baseman, but I'm terrified that the ball's going to hit me in the Adam's apple.
No.
So,
I broke my nose playing first base in a softball game once. So.
I thought I could play outfield, but then I dropped a couple of balls, and then that seemed like no good.
Yeah,
We're not going to be pro ball players.
No, we're not. Mauricio Habert says, hi, J&A. You both have criticized Colbert's pretense and smugness. Used to love the guy, but I have to confess his recent blind and loud war drum beating left me disgusted. Meanwhile, Seth Meyers has been somewhat judicious in stressing need for diplomatic solution.
You want to read the second part?
Is there a second part? So, what's a neurotic to do? Laugh, chuckle chart. Both shows, that's what. They're doing a laugh, chuckle chart for results that Seth consistently wins over Colbert, which got him a new fan. TS comments everything. Wouldn't you guys please comment Seth shows merits humor? Thanks.
I like Seth. I don't watch any of these shows night after night, but I think that he does have nice discussions with people. I think he has good, I think he's a nice guy. I prefer to watch him over Colbert, for sure. And it just so yes, I think he's of any of the shows that I've watched consistently, it's been his show.
Yeah, and I don't watch either. So I've seen. I got to base it more on clips I've seen of both, but Seth Meyers is more of a joke guy than Colbert. No question about it. I mean, Seth Meyers is a joke writer, and I think it stands to reason that he's going to hit. It's going to get more laughs than chuckles or applause, as is really to me the thing that substitutes for laughter when you're making a point.
Yeah. And for some reason, Colbert in the old days, when he would do it as the character, I couldn't get enough of his political stuff.
Well, yeah, because the sanctimony was all neatly packaged as a character.
But in fairness, I don't watch enough of him now to see how good he is, because it's also funny. Like when you've seen someone for 20 years and every time they're photographed, they're always like, ah, they kind of, it's like, just has that kind of, I don't know, it just doesn't invite me in. But I think that I don't know why I'm having trouble with him now, because I never had trouble with him before.
I got to be more neutral than that. This is just the format doesn't attract me anymore. Well,
that makes sense.
It's just not the kind. I'm not.
Except
I'm not
for
drawn.
later.
Huh?
What's the guy who's the singer guy? Carpool karaoke.
Oh, James Corden.
Yeah, we don't watch him. I was joking that we watched it.
Right.
Yeah, I don't watch. Yeah, nothing on a weekly basis do I watch. Nightly basis.
Right.
So every once in a while I go, boy, wouldn't it be good if Nightline was good? But it's never going to be good again. Maybe it never was good.
What, Nightline?
Yeah, I mean, it was okay when there was no million.
I'm Ted Koppel. This is Nightline.
A bit of a James Mason feel.
There's a little bit of crossover.
Have we arrived at the end
America held hostage.
Peruche, the Peruche is on fire. Yow! Peruche says, you think Andy would have been cast on Mrs. Maisel by now? If only Test Show 67. I don't know what that refers to.
I can only guess that you went on a Maisel-flavored tirade back on Test Show 67. Yes.
I actually turned around on that show. I watch it now all the time, and it's very funny. And it's like I never thought about it, but it's like she does all these like bawdy things.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I can't even say what's happening in the Maisel world. Is it 1964?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Well, next week we'll be back with a full-hearted effort.
You think so?
I think so.
I think that's right.
I think so.
Well, basically, do we have enough time? This is like, people won't go, it's not going to be 14 minutes long, the show.
No. I think we're almost there. Yeah, that's enough.
Eurystheus, Conchmicklus, or Graham.